Hello, people. We have a wide range. I've come to realize we have a pretty wide range of topics to cover. The courses series, especially, we have a lot of different subjects to cover that some of you are familiar with a lot of them. Anyone that's a spotter, you're going to be you're going to be pretty familiar with a lot of these topics and subjects already, because for a lot of people they're exposed to it via medias such as like children's programming and such. Now we'll talk about stuff like chakras and kundalini. We'll talk about stuff like alchemy. We have Full Metal Alchemist is a cool show that talks about alchemy. We have, what's that other one with the guy with the arrow on his head, Avatar, talks about chakras, actually pretty fucking accurately defines the process of unlocking and utilizing kundalini. It's I didn't watch the whole show. I read a bunch of the comics though, but I mean it's really cool. You get into that. I mean it's fun stuff. It's a cartoon show that actually tells you extremely useful truths about how your body and even your mind and soul operates for the most part. In this video, I intend to try and to some degree cover an introduction to the topic of alchemy because it is something that we all do. I mean, not just the initiative, the foundation, and the directive is not something that we've practiced. It is something that we've practiced our whole lives, and it's something that some of us have gotten pretty deep into and learned to a pretty solid extent. We've gotten a 5x5 picture of how it operates, and we actually use it operatively. Some people just kind of dick around with it. Some people are just drug addicts. I'm sorry to say, and we run into those, and we've had a few mistakes with those in the recent past where we've, placed a great deal of trust and faith in somebody who turned out to be just drug addicted, and we because we're launching the psychedelics project, the Remnants of Tomorrow project, and we require people that psychonauts that are experienced in utilizing psychedelics, hallucinogenics, so called. Again, I don't believe in hallucination. If you see something, it's real. If you experience something, it's there. Thoughts are real. Thoughts have form, substance. There's no such thing as hallucination. There's one of two possibilities here. A, there's no such thing as hallucinations and everything is real. If you experience it, it might be an anomaly, something that's rare and not common, but it is what it is. Or B, everything's a hallucination. And you know what? I can tell you honestly that both are true. And you're going to find that out at some point. That's a pretty startling realization to come to, and it'll change your life forever, let me tell you, but you're going to come to it eventually. In any case, people who are spotters are exposed to a lot of these topics already and have some idea, and basically, even if you don't know a lot about it, like if you just seen the children's programming or what have you, or maybe read a book here and there, or whatever, it's a an interest you've had, vaguely in the past. It's the interest that matters. If you have interest in these things, then that's the bridge we need to get to you, to get through to you, and to teach you, because we do know a whole hell of a lot about all of this shit. We've been studying it for a long, long time. We've been practicing with it. We have a lot of experience. As I've said before, we don't have fucking PhDs in alchemy or chemistry or philosophy or any such thing. A lot of us didn't even bother going to college. Um, I've gone, I attended college technically. I snuck in, but it's beside the point. Point is that we haven't had, certificates in these sorts of things. Some of us have done some training. I trained with the Red Cross, for medical purposes. So yeah, I have that under my belt. I have a certification in that, an STNA, and first aid certificate and whatnot. So some of us do have kind of, certifications. We got our shit pumped up to some extent, but we're not we didn't have the money and the resources and the opportunities to be, you know, these highly celebrity type people with these certifications and prerequisites and schooling and go to Harvard and all that shit and fucking study with CERN. We that's not, we don't have that, but we do interact with these people a lot. We talk with a lot of these people. They're all a part of our network. The people who have the PhDs, the people who have the certifications. We do, we, you know, we bounce ideas off of these people, and we make sure that we know what we're talking about. Is basically what I'm getting at. We are building a larger network with people who, you know, you would consider to be experts in these fields, but we are in fact, we are, we do have expertise in these fields. So all we need is that interest, for you to have that interest. And a lot of you that might have grown up watching shit like Dragon Ball Z, you know, Super Saiyanization, that's the Kundalini, that's the impulse, that's what it's based on. The Avatar, that's based on elements, that's based on Tai Chi, that's based on Qigong, that's shit that we can teach you, that's real stuff. It's based on real things. It's exaggerated in the cartoons. Full Metal Alchemist, obviously based on alchemy. That's a little outrageous. It gets off the deep end, but it is based in reality, and it's stuff that we can teach you if you just have the interest for it. And that's basically the first thing a spotter needs to do, is build that interest so that the student wants to learn. We can't teach you something you don't want to learn. But if you do want to learn it, we can teach you just about fucking anything. And believe me, it's all real. It all works out. And we're still investigating. We're still finding more awesome, amazing, you know, realities about nature and about the world as we go along. Some of us are into like ghosts and shit like that, which I have my personal opinions on that, but that's not the topic of the day. Although I will say I do have a very particular opinions on ghosts and what they might be, while some of our other members have different ideas. And again, it's really fun that we're bouncing these ideas off of each other, that we're communicating with these people that are at higher levels, that did go to Harvard and did get their certification. You know, this is a lot of fun if you get into it. So I mean, we're offering you that. This is free training. This is a free course. This is free education. You don't have to pay for this. We're never going to charge you. We're never going to ask anything of you but participation and interest. We never ask you to pay a goddamn thing but attention. So this is, take advantage of it, man. It's free training. And plus, at the same time, when you get invested and when you put into it, you're going to make our people start working their asses off and get better. And everybody's going to improve each other. Everybody's going to motivate each other. Anyway, alchemy. Everybody uses alchemy, as I was saying. It's not just something that our people have done our entire lives, and some of us have kind of gotten to a masterful, you know, attained a certain degree of expertise with, but it's something that everybody does every day, everyone. And nowadays, most especially with the pharmaceutical companies pushing drugs on you, and that's an issue that we need to deal with. In fact, that's the reason why I'm making this video right now, is because we are alchemists. We do use I don't know how to term it, natural substances. We use natural uh, chemical compounds that occur naturally to boost our performance and to achieve certain, you know, value systems, as it were, to achieve certain configurations that are required for us to function in ways that are appropriate for this program. And me especially, I need to use certain compounds to keep up. I mean, I'm fast, I'm really fast, but I'm not fast enough to keep up with all you guys without a little help. So yes, I do use chemical compounds to keep up. Mainly I use caffeine, and I use mitragyna speciosa combined with certain sugars and other earthly elements that come about. I do use one pharmaceutical, which is gabapentin. This stuff is safe. It's very safe. It was initially invented for as an anti-seizure medication, but it wasn't long before doctors and prescribers found out that it helps with just about anything. They prescribed it to me for anxiety, is an anti-anxiety medication, but it works for killing pain. It works for obviously anti-seizure medication. It works for epilepsy. It works for anxiety. It works as a focus enhancer. It actually kind of lubricates the neurons and allows for you to have a better focus and more clarity of thought. It's very potent for just about anything. It can fix just about anything. And I'm gonna hypothesize that some of it is, due to a placebo effect. Again, time mechanics is in play, and it's an all rounder, just like mitragyna speciosa is an all rounder. And that mitragyna speciosa, or kratom, as people like to say, is the item of inquiry right here, because this certain element. And before I get into that, I'd like to make it clear that we all do this every day. I mean, some of you guys are on some pretty hectic shit. Some of you guys are taking antidepressants and shit, stuff that the people prescribing this to you, they don't even know what that does. They don't know what that really is. They're actually experimenting with it on you right now. And a lot of people get into a lot of trouble. There's people that are in prison for murdering people. There's people that are in prison right now for sleepwalking on that shit and murdering their own families. And they're in prison for life. They woke up with their family stabbed to death, and that was it for them because of these drugs. So I'm gonna beg you to be seriously fucking careful with the shit that you take and look into it. Do not ever, none of you, you are all members of the initiative, and I'm giving you all the precise fucking directive. Do not ever just take something from a doctor and be like, okay, and drop it. Never. Always look into it. Always make sure you know what you're doing with these compounds. I should have started out in a different manner. Look, there are three primary tools you have in life to maneuver. You have your thoughts. You think about things, and your thoughts direct the world. Your thoughts give the world, they are an idea. Your thoughts give the world an idea of what's happening, and your underlying subconscious thoughts are pretty much describing what's happening. And as you describe it, it happens. You are telling the world to be what it is always. You have your thoughts, and you can control those, and we are teaching you to control those. B, you have your word, what you say, especially what you write. When you write something down, you're etching it into stone. You are permanentating it. That's, I don't think that's a word, but you are making it permanent. And that's why it's important that you guys don't just look at the page and think about it. It's important that you write your comments. It's important that you write what you think and feel, because your word is very powerful. It's not written in your scriptures for no reason. Your Bibles and your Vedas and your Qurans, they don't say that the word is holy and powerful because it isn't. It is. It really, really is. And you can use it for miraculous purposes. C, you have your deed, obviously. You follow through. You have a thought, you have a word, and then you do something. You act on it. And your actions are pretty much a combination of what you do with yourself, essentially, obviously, is an action, but what you feel is your action. You When you perform an action, you feel it. And if you feel something, if you put a feeling into something, it makes it real. Feeling is the language of the soul. It speaks the truth of reality. Your feeling defines what you know. It puts your thought, your word, and your deed all together into one action, which is your emotional value. And that emotion is the reality. Emotion is the true reality. And your relationship to other people is defined by associations of emotional values. So that is the ultimate reality. Nothing else is real. The only thing that's actually rock solid 5 by 5, defined as real, as true reality, is your relationships to others, to the world, to your own self, to your body, your relationship between the various aspects of yourself, just your associations and the emotions that are attached to that. Because the emotions, that's the core, that's the real thing. And we can't really get to that. We can't pull an emotion out. We can evoke an emotion. And that's essentially what we do with such practices as spot casting and even spell casting to a certain degree, and alchemy. Alchemy is what we would have to define as being a fourth. It's kind of like the purplers are to our color coding personality profiling. It's chemical substances, chemical compounds are going to be that fourth tool. It's provided by the environment for you to kind of jack your system. It's so that you can hack your programming. You can effectively uh, cause for an alteration in your value system, in your emotional programming to occur without going through, the whole process of experiencing it. You can create an experience using chemical compounds that jack the brain and cause for the brain to do something, which these compounds, they exist in the brain already. Your brain has what are called peptides, neuropeptides, that are chemical signature markers. They're little keys that fit in certain locks in your brain, and they cause for emotions to certain emotions to happen, certain sensations and feelings in the body to occur. And essentially, when you use a chemical substance, which we all do, even if you're pure like vegan, I mean, we all use some kind of, most of us have some kind of a prescription that we use, and that's usually a mistake. I do not recommend pharmaceuticals or anything synthetic, but I use one. Some of us use them, and I certainly don't recommend the antidepressants. I actually recommend against that. That's bad shit. But to each his own. We have shit like Tylenol. I mean, stuff for headaches. Obviously, nicotine would be one of them. Let's see what else we got here. Sugar. That's a big one. We all use sugar. Well, most of us. I mean, I used to stay away from sugar, but now that I'm burning a lot of energy all the time, I find that I crave it a lot, which sugars, natural sugars, these are things that we all use all the time. And we're constantly manipulating our programming. The thing is that we fall into habits and addictions, and that's the problem with it, which we'll speak to in a different video, because as I said, the topic of inquiry here is going to be mitragyna speciosa, which is the primary. um, that would be, it's a what it is a balancer. It's a natural herb that's a kind of domesticated herb that's grown in Indonesia, mainly in Asia for the most part, and it's harvested for the sake of being smashed into powder and exchanged for money. It's a What it is as I said, it's a balancer. It's a cousin of the coffee plant. It's related to the coffee plant and has very similar effects to caffeine. It picks you up, it boosts you, it perks you up, it gives you a little boost, so you wake up and you take some and you're ready to go. It's like drinking a super cup of coffee, which I actually mix it with coffee. you know. So I have like a few spoonfuls in my coffee and I drink it and I'm ready to rock and roll for the day. I'm ready to take care of, 190 people at a time and deal with, trying to build this fundraiser and go to work for 12 hours, knocking on doors, getting people yelling at me and slamming doors in my faces. I'm ready to do all that shit because of this substance. I have to say, I would not be able to handle the life I live without it, and it's being threatened. And that's why the video is happening, because the DEA is really dropping on this shit. But I'm going to define it first. Anyway, it perks you up, it picks you up, it gives you that little caffeine boost, but at the same time, it relaxes you, and it just kills anxiety completely. The way that they've defined it is it kind of works. It acts on the brain in the same way as opioids do, except it's safe. It's good for your digestive system. It's healthy. It's good for you. It's good for your digestive system. It's good for your nervous system. It's very good for you in many different ways. I mean, you don't want to take too much of it, obviously, but everything in moderation. But it acts on the brain in the same way that opiates do. It relaxes your system. It kills pain. It's very good for killing pain. And most people use it to get off of addictions. And that's why when people get hooked on shit like heroin, even like heroin, I mean, we're talking about people get hooked on anything. People say you can't get addicted to weed, but fuck me, if you ever met a stoner, yeah, you can get hooked on weed. But um, anything that you're hooked on, all the way up to heroin and like fentanyl and the bad shit that's going around that kills people, kratom cures that. It actually cures that addiction. You can get off of that. Many, many people have. They get off of these addictions. Anybody out there that's watching this video, you know somebody who's been affected by heroin or something like it. You know somebody who's been addicted to this shit, or maybe you have yourself, or maybe you are. You know, you know how bad this shit is. Every one of you, just about, except for maybe younger kids, but I'm gonna guess that you're probably exposed to it too. Everybody is. You all know how bad these fucking drugs are. Opiates, pharmaceutical opiates, you know, heroin, synthetic painkillers like that, shit that people shoot, meth, stuff like that. You know how fucking bad this shit is. Kratom is an easy cure. It gets people right off of it. It gives them something to jump off to that's safe, that's healthy, that works to cure that addiction, and it is effective. 90 fucking 5% of the time, it's very effective. Anybody that can handle eating it is very bitter, and you do have to eat a pretty decent amount of it for it to work. But people can't stand the taste of it. Some people can't keep it down, but I like it personally. I'm weird like that, though. I like a lot of things that people think are off, but it's very effective for curing these addictions. A and B, it's very effective for helping people operate and function better in the world. It's an easy hack for the brain, that a chemical hack that is, it's natural, it's good for you, and it is pretty much the baseline substance that we use for all of our alchemical procedures, as it were. When we build compounds for certain reasons, even up to where we're working the psychedelics project, and sometimes we're going to sometimes we're going to encounter synthetics such as LSD and such, but hopefully we won't have to get into that too much. But psilocybin, dimethyltryptamine, these are things that we're going to be adding onto, the initial platform. The base substance is going to be mitragyna speciosa, because it balances you and it sets the stage for anything else to happen in an appropriate manner, where you're not going to lose your shit and freak out, which is going to be a big trouble here with this project. But it's being threatened at the moment, as evidenced by the train. I love how that pops up at just the right time. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it usually does pop up at just the time that I'm speaking something of an alarm nature. That train shows up. Anyways, it's my buddy, the world, backing me up. But it's being threatened right now. The DEA wants to shut down kratom, mitragyna speciosa, because it's getting people off of opiates. This is the baseline fact. The DEA goes hand in hand with the pharmaceutical corps. They do not want people having access to this, because it gets them off of the drugs that they're pushing, which are dangerous, dangerous drugs that kill people left and right, these opiates. But they make them a fuck ton of money, and so they want them out there. In fact, they're even have been trying to just kind of straight up gank kratom, the alkaloids that are operative in kratom, and use them to make more pharmaceutical drugs to push on us, because they want us hooked on synthetics. And it's a two-part process here. It's not just that they want to make money off of these drugs, it's that they actually want us hooked on these drugs. They want all of us hooked on these pharmaceuticals to dumb us down, to fuck us up, to ruin us, to make us ineffective, to take our power away. And it's not bullshit, dude. It's not some kind of fucking... I wouldn't sit here and talk to you about some nutcase conspiracy theory. Do I come off as that kind of person to you? Now, I'm a pretty level, grounded person. I talk about shit that I know is true, is real. And this is true. This is real. These fucking assholes want to gank everything from you. They want to put you down. They want to distract you. They want to ruin your life. To take from you. Just to take. They're very greedy, selfish people that have no concern for your well-being. All they care about is getting what they can out of you. They're farming you. This is a work farm that we live in here. We live in a work farm classification culture. That's how America was built. I'll post a video for you that can show you the history of how America was built, what the initial plan was. America was built to be a fucking work farm, to take each and every one of its citizens and just use them the fuck up until they die. Take everything they can from them, just push them like ants in an ant farm. Like bees. They want to harvest our honey. That's pretty much it. And there's more to that. We've discerned already, I've told you, that attention is energy. Where you put your attention is where you focus your energy. And they know this. They're not stupid, these people. They know all of these things. They know everything that we know. And they're hip to it. They've never, ever treated it like it's bullshit. They taught you to treat it like it's bullshit. These people are the ones who made the medias and made the distractions. They made the world that teaches you that reality is bullshit. that there is no such thing as directing your energy, that there is no such thing as kundalini impulse, that there is no such thing as chakras, which I mean, get a fucking x-ray. You have nerve clusters in your body where electrical energy piles up. Those are chakras. That it's basic fucking physical material aspects. It's there's nothing mystical about this. I don't talk to you guys about mystical spiritual nonsense. I don't talk to you guys about, fucking angels popping in from interdimensional, what have you. I mean, it's possible, these things, and we do study it, and it's interesting. And just to some extent, I even buy into it. There's a few things that I think are real, especially experimenting with dimethyltryptamine. You meet aliens, you meet interdimensional creatures that are definitely there, that are definitely real. And we have this as a shared experience that everybody who takes it, everybody who uses that substance experiences the same thing. So we know that that's real. You can't have take 100 people, have them all try something, 90 of them come back with the same results, and you say that the 10 that didn't experience it are right. You're stupid. You're a dumbass. No, the 90 people who are telling you that they met aliens, they're telling you the fucking truth. It happened. You guys got to wake up, get with the program here, man. It's not, this isn't difficult. It's common sense, really. All of this is common sense. It's right in front of your face. You have the internet. You can get access to all of this. It's simple shit. And alchemy, particularly, that's something that you can look into on the internet and you can get into. Now, alchemy is not just chemical. If alchemy was just chemical properties and substances, compound use, that would be chemistry. Well, chemistry is manipulating the compounds themselves. Alchemy is actually using them. Alchemy is utilizing chemical compounds to affect the self, to alter the self. It's learning how to use chemical compounds in a specific way to achieve results with yourself in your life that you wish to. But there's more to it than that. Alchemy involves using values. Alchemy involves seeing values and realizing them. Like, the apple is a source of energy. It's that simple. There's so many aspects attached to this apple. I could have memories, for example. I don't. I'm giving you an example. I could have bad memories of maybe swinging on an apple tree and the rope breaks and I fall and I hurt myself, and then this apple could give me a bad feeling because it reminds me of that somewhere deep down. It triggers that value. That's an example of an aspect attached to a value, where in fact the apple is just energy. The apple is just a source of energy, period. But it could have many aspects attached to it. The telephone, the communication device. It's communication. However, look at all the apps on it. Look at all the shit that it does. And it makes you think of that, and you experience these things in your dreams where the phone can become all kinds of different things. I don't know if any of you ever have, but I do have weird phone dreams. But you know they're value that I mean aspects attached to values all over the place, and your brain sees all of them. Your brain is aware of everything around you all the time. It has like a permanent recording of the world as it's happening, and it understands all of these values, and that's where the 100% of your brain is. The 10% that you think you use, where you think you only use 10% of your brain, some of you believe that myth. It's a myth. That's not true. The 10% is basically what you're doing right now. It's what you're actually engaged in. But as I've said before, you're making your heart beat. You're making your blood flow. You're making your synapses fire. You are making this wall white, I think. I don't know. It kind of looks yellowish in the image, but whatever color it is, you're making this apple yellow and red. You're making that jacket blue. You're making this jacket very sexy. You understand? You're consistently doing this. You're making everything happen. That's where the other 100% of your brain is. But it's on autopilot. You don't know that you're doing it. And that's a good thing. You don't want to be engaged in all these things. I personally, one of the things that I do to in order to bend time and to manipulate gravity is to learn. Again, this is a process involving alchemy, which is, you know, alchemy is pretty much hacking your spirit, hacking your brain, and it's time mechanics really. except time mechanics goes further. Time mechanics encompasses several other disciplines. So time mechanics, alchemy is a part of it. What we all threw together into this combination we're calling time mechanics, which I'd like to make a video purely on time mechanics as well. I'd like to do all of it. There's so much shit to cover. It's unreal. But one of the things that I have to do as a director, being operative, is I have to actually operatively decide which factors of myself I am actively engaging all the time. I have to shut down certain things, put them on autopilot so that I can focus on other things and move faster. And these are decisions I have to make on the spot all the time, especially right now because everything's getting screwed up. Because one example of things getting screwed up is that the DEA now has imposed this rule where they're not accepting common currency anymore for mitragyna speciosa. Websites are unable, their processors will not use, Visa, MasterCard. You can't order it over the internet without purchasing like Bitcoin or whatever first. And so I essentially got ripped off on my order. I placed an order for this shit, and the next day I get an email saying that we can't accept it, but my money's not back in my account. So I've got, you know, thanks to the DEA, I've essentially got ganked on that transaction, and got nothing for it. And now without that substance, I'm going to be moving exceptionally slow and probably experience some degree of a withdrawal effect because I do use it, a lot. I've been using it for a long time to keep up, and it's not really addictive, although I have a somewhat addictive personality, so I tend to kind of think that I require things. I have this idea that I require certain things, and then I feel bad when I don't have them, and that's a problem I have. That's an issue I have to deal with, and I get uncomfortable when I don't have the mitragyna speciosa. I get pretty uncomfortable. That's really the withdrawal that I experience personally. A lot of other people say that they don't experience any at all. That it's just they could take it or leave it, but they're better off with it. Um, I do experience just discomfort, just general discomfort and anxiety. And that's because I have an anxiety issue. I have, that Kundalini impulse is very high intensity energy that's built up in me. And if I can't balance it out via alchemy, if I cannot, force it to balance out in that way, and I can't feed it properly, obviously, because I don't have, a hell of a lot of resources. Pretty much all of my resources are cut off right now, and that's going to be the primary one though. That really pisses me off, and that's why I'm making this video. Because I mean, anybody that's out there that this, whether you've used it or not, whether you do use kratom or you haven't used kratom, if you do, that it's good, that it's beneficial, that it's a positive thing. If you know anybody that's hooked on drugs like heroin or anything, then you need to be thinking about this too. If you've experienced that, if that's ever been a part of your life where you know somebody who's been hooked on shit like heroin or meth, somebody who's had their lives ruined other people's lives, overdose, people who die left and right, all the terrible shit that happens because of these fucking pharmaceuticals that they're pushing on us. And it's not just the pharmaceuticals that are getting prescribed to you. The heroin comes from them too, man. All of these drugs come from the same source. It's the same people pushing these fucking synthetics on you and trying to teach you that there's something wrong with natural remedies, trying to steal natural remedies from you. And right now, just like they stole marijuana from the hippies way back when, they're trying to steal kratom from us. And it's bullshit, and we need to fight back. You guys, if you're members of the initiative, if you like solidly disagree with me on this and you think that you have a good reason to, okay, whatever. But if you don't, then please do stand up and fight back. There are petitions you can sign. There you can join the AKA, the American Kratom Association. You can work with them. We're networked with them and a few other groups just like them. We're networked with several vendors from Indonesia who produce it. We work with them a lot. You haven't seen them on the group page because, frankly, I don't know why. I think maybe they haven't gotten very good results when they have posted. We do sponsor them though. I mean, kratom's a very good thing. It's a very, very good thing. I endorse it completely. Status totally endorses it, promotes it, and it's a good cure for any addiction. It's a easy breezy, beautiful, good, you know, um, substance for any occasion. It can be used for many different things, and it's a very good thing. It's natural. Uh, it's healthy. You know, it's beneficial in every way. And these fucking assholes are trying to gank it from us because they want us. They want us on fentanyl. They want us on fucking Percocet. They want us on heroin. They want us on methamphetamines. They want us on Adderall. They want us on fucking antidepressants. You know, Prozac, motherfucking whatever that other shit is called. They want us on these terrible fucking drugs that fuck us up, and they don't want us having access to natural remedies. And right now, they are stealing from us one of the most effective natural remedies we've ever had. I mean, this is a big fucking deal. This is a big, big deal. So get involved, people. I'm directing you. I'm very, I'm very strongly, firmly directing you right now. Get involved with this fight, because if they take that away, you're going to see a lot of people around you start to crash, and this is going to get a whole hell of a lot more difficult. We are going to start losing this battle because there are too many people that are hooked on drugs. There are too many people that need drugs, that feel as though they need something, and there are too many people like me who do require something like this to keep them going fast enough to keep things up, to keep this fight up. And they take this away, they're going to put us all down, and they're going to have so many people overdosing, so many people turning back to heroin. You know, you're going to see the whole fucking community, and I mean all of us, America, the whole damn world, but America primarily because that's where the DEA is operating, fucking assholes. But you're gonna see our community crash if they take this away. There are a lot of people using this, and I guess some people might be embarrassed about it for some reason. I'm telling you straight up, though, it's a very beneficial, effective, natural remedy that is very, very useful and very good for you, and it's something that we own. It belongs to us. It's natural. These people have no fucking right to take that away from us. So I'm directing you all with fucking with anger behind it, with angst. Get with the fight, man. Fuck these assholes. No fucking way are they gonna come in, impose themselves, and say, sorry, but you can't have the leaves from this fucking tree that grows outside. Kiss my ass. Kiss my fucking ass. No way. And I'm going to be launching campaigns against this. An official statement of me launching a campaign against the DEA's ban on fucking kratom, mitragyna speciosa, because this is a ridiculous, absurd bullshit move, and they're trying to kill us. Make no mistake, this is not something subtle. They are trying to kill us. If they take that substance away from us, a lot of people are going to die. A lot of people are going to get hurt. Families are going to get ruined. Shit's going to go south fast. So fight this, and I'm gonna keep at it, and I'm gonna launch a campaign, an active campaign against that, because it's just, even if I didn't use it, even if I didn't know about it, it's still, it's a right that they're stealing from us, these people, because they want to push something dangerous on us. That's not acceptable. That's a no-no. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. So thank you for this time. I really hope you watch this. I really hope you guys watch this and get behind it. This belongs to you. All of this belongs to you, and you have people trying to steal it. You have people trying to break it. You have people trying to ruin your lives. Don't let them push you around. We need to stand up together and fight back. Thank you for your time. Kila Salai, our fucking world, our home. Kila Salai. Forward together. Terveune Siari. Namaste. Every one of you has the power of God in you. Every one. All you need to do is stand the fuck up and use it. Fight back. Namaste.